Pretty much the whole game, right there.
Prisoners are funny.
Where do they get those shanks anyways? Like,
I was telling Cory
they
about this.
came
That
with
was
them
so
on the
cool.
bus.
Actually, they come from places.
Yeah, like, I was playing a game, and I played it enough that I'd seen my prisoners do some weird things. And this one prisoner, he spent like a day standing in front of the door to the kitchen. He couldn't go in, because it was a staff-only area.
Right.
But he was just standing there. And so I mouse over him, and it says, prisoner acting suspicious. And so...
Trying to figure out a way in.
Yeah, so I go and I search him, and sure enough, he had something on him. Another time...
Did you club him?
Yeah, they had to club him, lock him up, throw the knife on the floor and shit, yeah. But another time I was just zoomed up on some prisoners. Pure coincidence. They're sitting at a table, and they're not eating, but it's free time, so they're just hanging out with each other. But again, it looks suspicious, because all of the other prisoners in the entire prison are all fucking around and fighting and jumping up and down or sleeping or something. These four guys are sitting at a table. And so I'm zoomed up and I watch them, and all of a sudden one of the guys goes, pulls out a knife. The hell? And then he puts it away. Oh, what the hell? So I sit a guard down there, and sure enough, he finds the knife and he clubs him and he locks him up and gets sent into solitary, and he takes the knife. And so there are some cool nuances to the gameplay. But the biggest problem with the gameplay, again, for sure, the learning curve. It's just crazy.
I was lucky.
Once you figure out grants, if you don't know about grants, you would never be able to get anywhere in this game.
And the game doesn't even tell you anything about them.
No, you have no idea about them. As soon as I figured out the grants, the game became easier and clearer. Mm-hmm. I guess my favorite part was the details in the management. As far as you could go, like, talking about finance and having to hire accountants, having to unlock the ability to hire an accountant. Like, there was a little bit of a leveling up to the system, and that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But again, that definitely needs to be hashed out because it wasn't complete at all. Yeah. I can't wait till they come out with a story or campaign mode for this. I think that'll be fun. Looking forward to that.
For sure.
But biggest problem with the gameplay, I played the game long enough that I saw all my prisoners die, or 20 of my prisoners die in one prison. Big, massive riot. Dead guards, dead prisoners. I had to make a morgue because I didn't know what to do with these dead bodies. Send all these people to the mortuary, and then there's all these bodies sitting in the mortuary, and I can't do anything with them. And I looked up and I figured out that they haven't implemented anything in the game yet to deal with dead bodies. They just stay dead in your prison, taking up a prisoner slot in your prison. So you can't get more. So you can't get more. So that's one of the breaks in the game right now is if a person dies, even a guard, they're screwed.
Well, at least they didn't send them out with like the garbage bags and stuff like that.
At least it would be something.
Yeah, at least it'd be out of my prison.
Yeah.
So Josh, what is your opinion on the gameplay?
Overall, it was interesting. So many holes to kind of that they have to fill, put some mortar in those cracks to actually make it work, especially with the tutorial. Like, I would if I didn't have Jason, I would have probably played 5 minutes and said, I'm gonna play Minecraft. Yeah, that was basically it. Like, but Jason was kind enough to be the mistake maker, and then I learned from all of his mistakes right off the hop, so it made it a lot better for me, you know, and learning and understanding how the prison should be set up. Oh, you might want to put your pump room and your electrical room in a separate room that's locked off from the prisoners so that they don't, you know, mess with...
You can do lots, like, just off the top of my head, one of the first things that both Dean and I ended up doing independently of each other is I found I was having real problems making a big mass building to hold everything in, right? So I made a prison camp. And, and that actually worked pretty well, right? I was playing it completely wrong, but whatever.
You see, yeah, that was exactly it. Like, I started off, I need separate buildings for everything. And then it just gets your mind thinking in so many different ways. How do you want to see it unfold? And I did like that aspect of the game. I did like that you're like, okay, well, it's very versatile that way. You want to try it, separate rooms, go on ahead. Make your mistakes.
I felt, that was the thing, though, is I really felt like if I did something early and then later on it didn't fit in with what I was trying to accomplish too, I felt like it was a huge pain in the ass to fix it. You know, to change it up, like even
because your
something
resources
like,
are so finite.
Yeah.
You have just enough to do what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not careful, you end up in situations where you're like, oh, I don't like that wall there. Well, I'll knock it down. Oh, I'm out of money. Now I'm missing a wall.
Yeah.
Now I gotta wait an age in gameplay terms.
And they're running away now.
There they go.
Stabby Joe.
2 words. Auto save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revert to your saves on
Yes.
this game because
Yeah.
you will save yourself hours
Yeah.
and hours and hours. I can see it happening.
There's a perverted sense of satisfaction one gets from getting past that learning curve, though, and actually starting to see things start to work.
Yeah.
I imagine that for those people that are really familiar with the prison architect style or with this style of game, I imagine that it's very satisfying to create those huge, wonderful, giant, mega prisons. But it seems like it would just take a lot of playing and a lot of effort to get there. And I hate to sound like a 21st century gamer where all the games are like, back when we were kids, man, games were hard.
Oh, God.
Games are nowhere near as hard as they used to be, and I don't think they need to be. And this game just is hard in a bad way. It's not challenging. Doesn't challenge me and make me want to improve my skill set. It challenges me because I don't have enough information at my disposal.
It's the difference, say, for a really old school example, the difference between Castlevania, which is hard, and Castlevania 2, which is just retarded.
Terrible. Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're offended by that word, but that's Castlevania 2. Retarded, okay? At one point in the game, I think you have to walk up to a wall, kneel down for about 30 seconds until a tornado comes and takes you away to the next level.
And that's based solely on like a 2-sentence stanza that some NPC in some town might happen to tell you if you happen to go into the building and talk to her.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'd never know.
Yep. And nowhere does it give you any kind of hint. That's why that's one of those Nintendo Power kind of games. Like, if you hadn't read it in a magazine that you subscribe to, you would never know it would even exist, okay? So, yeah.
Screw you, Konami. Screw you.
You and your awesome plethora
I sure
of games.
I sure hope Konami made Castlevania. Otherwise, I sound like a retard.
Yeah. I just thought of that on my way.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty sure it's Konami.
Yeah. I'll give my thoughts on the gameplay. Until I watched Josh play his version, I was completely oblivious to an entire element of the game. Like, I got the whole plan how to make things, thanks to the gentleman who did the YouTube video, of course, and I got my basic prison down, and it was functional, and it was good, everything was golden. And then the prisoners came in and everything, and I was going to deal with that another time. But, I mean, as they kind of filtered in and everything, and as I was doing everything, I didn't pay attention to, like, how it functioned, because up until that point, I would just create a building, create the foundations, put the electrical and all the little doodahs that make the prison, and they would do that automatically. Now, when the prisoners come in, I was in that frame of mind where it's like, okay, things will just do what they need to do naturally. No, you have to select people to do certain functions. Like you were saying, you have to send a guard to go to this place. They don't do that automatically.
First, find
They wait till they start fighting before they start.
Exactly. I mean, with my workers, I didn't have to tell them to go and make this building.
What are we paying these guards for?
Yeah,
To
exactly.
mill about the office? Come on.
Yeah.
$500.
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
the warden, you don't have to tell him what to do. The accountant, no. Cook, no. Workers, no. So why do I have to tell the guards to go control these prisoners? I hired you for your job. If you suck at your job, that's getting beside the point. But what I'm saying is, it took Josh, after all of my playthrough and until the very end of his last playthrough, to kind of literally stumble across the idea that you select a guard and you select somebody.
There's
and
a
they take
lot
away.
of that in this game. There's a lot of staring at the screen going, okay, so why isn't this working?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
5 guards standing right in the middle of an open gate for crying out loud. Like,
the prisoners, the prisoners seriously
like,
had to squeeze through them to escape.
But you know, like, of all the places that you're gonna have, you know, of all the places to have a glitch, this has got to be the worst one. Is in front of a lock gate. You know, you're trying to keep. It's a holding cell, not a you're free to go cell. Like, so they were holding up that door, and it turned me off the game right away.
Yeah. Now, this is the last thing I will say about the gameplay, because, I mean, every other point has already been stated.
Can I just quickly talk on to the
No, what do you think this is? Fair? No, go ahead.
You were talking about, like, you learned that you could take guards and send them over to an area. There's actually something you could unlock in the bureaucracy that allows you to assign guards to areas of the prison, and beyond that, set them on patrol paths through these areas of the prison.
Oh,
so there is a feature that you can grow to a point where the guards are.
That kind of seems like an interesting choice that they would do that. Like
you can't do that until you get the security chief unlocked. So that's part of the leveling up of the game, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, cool. But the last thing I will say about the gameplay is the platform that it's on. They're selling this on PC and Mac. But I think this is a brilliant iPad game that's not happening. You know? Like, you look at this and the way it works and it functions. I mean, just the whole zoom in, zoom out, tap this, tap that. It's all like point, click, zoom
drop,
in, zoom out.
Click.
That's it.
You go there, you go here.
Yeah. This would be a brilliant iPad game. I don't know why it's not going for that format exclusively. But the one problem with that is, and I'm saying it now so I don't forget to say it later, is that for this alpha, okay, we each paid $30 for this fucking game. All right? Now, looking at this game, I don't see it being more than $5 if it were an iPad app. We paid $30 to play this in alpha.
I was telling this to Dean too. I find that, with respect to the developers, I understand we all got to get paid, got to feed our families, whatever. $30 for this product is, given that there are so many great... I can think of a dozen games off the top of my head that cost a fraction of $30 that I would rather be playing than this.
Free.
That are free even. $30 for this product is offensive.
Yeah,
I cannot recommend this product based on the price alone.
No. And I think that's what skewed mine, and I think your point of view, or all of our point of views, so much, is that, like, if the alpha was out there as a demo, okay, which many people do. I mean, my God, I think Minecraft, you paid less than $10 for their alpha, and then when they sold at full price, it was still less than what we paid for this game.
Yeah. As a stripped down free demo, I would love this game. I have no problems tinkering around with its bugs and its glitches and whatnot. But
because you knew something better would eventually come along.
Exactly. And now, I mean, the expectation is that something better is going to come along, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's you know, back to the alpha thing. Like, it's very disappointing, but we have to put all of our disappointments and conclusions until it's at least released.
Well, let me say this. This week alone, I bought 2 new games. Okay, one is an old school game that just got re-released, and one is in beta right now. Okay, first one was System Shock 2. They optimized it, and it came out. I've never played it. Always wanted to.
Yeah.
Bought it finally. $10.
Yep.
Okay, now that is a game that is huge. Okay, in length, scope, and quality. I also bought a beta copy of Slender: The Arrival. Okay, which is a game coming off of a free-to-play game called Slender: The 8 Pages, as many of you may know. And now they're upping the ante with this and making it looking like a AAA game. The amount that they asked for access to the beta and to get the entire game when it's released, $5. Okay, I paid $10 because they had that option. They gave you $5, you get the whole works. $10 just because you want to see this work.
Sure.
Absolutely. I loved Slender. It's brilliant, and based on that game alone, I would give them even more. I didn't, but you know. But that being said, Their base amount was $5. The base amount for Prison Architect is $30. That is some level of greed going on. Like, I don't know what you would call that, but that's not cool. I don't know, like, I've seen so many...
When you think of the sheer number of players that are going to download this...
Yes.
Just to try it out because they're fans of the studio, they're fans of this type of game, whatever you want. You're talking about astronomical dollars there.
Yeah.
And I get that we all have to get paid, and some studios are bigger than others and whatnot, but like when you look at a game like Slender, the 8 Pages, you look at a game like, I'm trying to think of the Torchlight 2 I bought for $10 on sale, for instance. And these are games that...
He bought it twice because he got me a Cory.
Well, actually I bought it 4 times.
Oh, there you go.
But the juice is worth the squeeze. When you're playing a game like Torchlight, you can see where the money's going. Right?
Yeah,
absolutely. You can see the production value behind it. I don't see the production value in this game.
No.
You know, it's an ambitious project, and I like to see games like this being made, and I like to see independent developers making games. But brother, I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you for $30. You know?
Yep.
Oh.
So anyway, so you'll have to forgive us if our opinions are a little skewed and a little hostile, so to speak, but that's kind of what's fueling it. If it was a free demo, I'm sure we'd still have some grievances with the thing, but I think we'd be a little more lenient on them. But the fact that we had to throw down such a chunk of change to find all this out, it's not right.
Look at how many iPad games are for like $1. You know?
Yeah.
You make your fortune that way. If it's really something that people like and it's an addictive game, you think it's actually that good a game, it'll sell for $1.
Yep.
And then you go with that. And then you up it as you improve your product, right?
And I
not the other way around.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. It's
and
just
I think,
not how it works.
Yeah, there were more denominations as you go up, and that gets you a whole bunch of different things. But even when you look, like, I think it went from 30 to 40 was the next jump?
33. 35 even?
35? Sure. We'll say $5 increments. For every $5, you get things like the soundtrack. Was there any music?
Cha-ching.
You know, like, number one, yeah, cha-ching. You'd probably get that, you know. A soundtrack, dude, that comes with most games that I've bought lately. The next step up, you get another $5 into their pocket, so $40. You get a PDF art book or something like that. Again, that's usually a pre-order bonus. Just here, take it, you know? And it seems like every little thing that they added in there...
Not a lot of actual value there.
No, there was no value.
It's called print screen button. Right?
Yeah, that's all it was. So, again, I think I'm going to stop there because there's a question that we're going to get to, and I think we'll dive into this whole thing a lot deeper. So, moving right along, unless anybody had anything else for gameplay. No? Okay. Moving right along. Next question I want to ask was, when playing this game, did your personal opinion on crime and punishment play into your creation or management of your prison? And I think we're going to start with Dean on this one. This one right here.
Cheater!
I wasn't listening. I was looking.
Dean never listens to me. He just shows up.
I just show up.
He likes just the camera time. That's it.
Here we go. I didn't take it too serious. Like, no, I just did what was required. Like, you can make your cells for each prisoner as big as you want. But the minimum requirement is 2x3. And so every single cell that I made was 2x3. You could put extra stuff in their cells, like TVs and stuff, to make them happy. I never, ever did anything like that. So my design of the prison had nothing to do with crime and punishment. It was all about, what does my budget dictate?
It's kind of like how you play Torchlight too. Well, we need a quest. Let's go. And I'm like, wait,
exactly.
wait. He's saying
somebody wants me to do a thing somewhere.
He's talking. I want to hear his story.
No, let's go. He wants me to go do a thing at a place.
Yeah,
let's go. He's gonna give me a thing.
Yeah. That was. I mean, prisoners were doing their thing and they were unhappy. I guess I was a little bit more aggressive with the guards. I didn't mind taking all the guards and sending them to shut one prisoner up. I guess that was kind of aggressive, but again, my feelings on Crime and Punishment didn't have any bearing on what I was doing.
Fair enough, fair enough. Josh?
Tell you the truth, I was just too focused into, okay, well, I just got to make this work. You know, you're dealing with a computer program. They're not real people. Like, yeah. If you want to make a gulag, you can make a gulag. Right? If you want to, you know, you can make it small, you can make it big, you can make it to whatever you want. It really doesn't matter how, like, mainly as long as it works. I'm kind of like the same thing with Minecraft. My chickens don't need lots of space in their pen. They're ones and zeros. Shove them into the tightest space available, because if space is tight, then make good use of it. So
that's one of the things about the graphic style that I think benefits the game, is the fact that we don't have to think about the repercussions, and you're not reminded to think about the repercussions. Talk about making a gulag. Like, it's a computer game, and we've got these chubby little super deformed dudes running around to remind us that they're not real people. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to build a hallway from the canteen to the cells. And yeah, I'm going to fill that hallway with electric chairs to remind them what happened. You know? Sure, why not?
It's a fireworks display, everybody!
Exactly.
People getting fried as they're eating in the kitchen.
I do like that beyond the grants and you have to do this to earn this money system. Yeah. I do like the fact that you fundamentally can do whatever you want. It is up to you how you want to make your prison. So I do like that, but I don't know. I certainly wasn't thinking that I was playing a game that has any kind of commentary towards the judicial system. You know?
See, and that's just the one thing that kind of irked me a little bit, was that Josh put it so well, is that when I went into the game, I guess it's my own fault, because I had an expectation that I could build the prison the way I would like to have it, right? And this is just personal opinion, but they call it a correctional facility in the real world, and I don't think it's very correctional. But I don't want to get into too many politics on this issue. But suffice to say that when I was playing this game and I was creating a prison, I felt a little compelled to follow the game and go against the way I would have liked it. Like,
I agree.
If I had created the prison the way I think a prison should be done, they wouldn't have telephones to call people. They wouldn't have a workout bench. You know, they would get their 3 square meals and everything. They wouldn't have TVs.
This is the thing, is according to the game, in order to designate a room a certain thing, you've got to put that workout bench in there.
Exactly.
You have to do that. And even the options you're given in terms of like the stuff you're filling the prison with is this handful of requisite items that you have to use.
Yep.
There's no, like, I mean, why can't I choose to put arcade games in my common room for them? Why can't I choose to fill it with plants? Or, you know, like,
why can't I choose to keep all my prisoners in solitary confinement until I feed them?
Certainly. You know, like, there are more...
Gulag.
There could be more options than are displayed, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I was a little disappointed in that, because it made me design a prison that I just did not agree with. And it goes in line with the same thing with the art style, you know, like, it's making a cartoony thing out of a not very cartoony environment. And yeah, that's just the same merry-go-round for that.
I think you hit the nail on the head though there. Like, it would have been a lot better if the separate rooms didn't have requirements. Labeling, that was really smart. Being able to label what the different rooms were, that was pretty cool.
So that your little NPCs know how to behave in these rooms?
Yeah.
Super elegant way of dealing with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
But you're right. Like, you know, it says like you have to have a bench and a table and a serving table in the canteen. Well, maybe I just want some chairs and the serving table.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe I just want to pour gruel on the floor.
Like maybe
exactly.
to be fair, maybe in my prison you don't get food unless you stand in line and eat out of your hands. Like, I mean, it's horrible to think that way, but it's a game that's supposed to be a sandbox style.
Exactly.
Thing, right?
Like we're getting into like,
well, no, but why can't I have a race riot on my hands? Right? Why can't I make a prison where I put all of, one race of prisoners on one side of the prison and all my other race of prisoners on the other side of the prison?
And the only way they can communicate with each other is through a hallway full of electric chairs.
Why can't we do that? Why can't I have the freedom to do that? Why can't I have an electric chair in every fucking cell?
I'm losing every subscriber with every word we say.
Well, no, but you know what? Part of the fun of a game, like I will draw the comparison. Part of the fun of a game like The Sims, for instance, is that we've all done it. You make a dude, and then maybe your buddy has your character. He keeps a little girl captive in his basement or something. Right? We've all tortured a Sim, right?
captive in a
stove.
I've done that. I built a family that was super nice on the inside, except they were all evil. They were all really nice, but they were all evil. And then the son was a little boy, and he never came out of the basement. And only the sister would socialize with him.
Oh my god, that's messed up.
All he did was go to the bathroom and cry. But the point.
What the fuck?
The point is that if I'm buying a game that builds me the ability to design and create the prison of my dreams, maybe the prison of my dreams
I've never heard of anybody doing that on The Sims.
I can't breathe.
I've never heard of it.
Are you?
No!
Why wouldn't you?
Because it's a little child.
It's great.
All he does is
It's
pee
a
and cry.
child.
It's great.
No.
And then you know what you do?
But that's not funny. But it's not funny because
one
it happens
newspaper.
in real life.
You get one newspaper and you put it downstairs with them. And for a day, they'll read the newspaper and they'll be pretty happy with that. And then for the rest of their lives, they'll go around the basement picking up the newspaper and going, oh. And then they'll just cry some more. It's awesome.
It's horrible.
I know.
Well, okay, considering
Josh.
I know, considering their ones and zeros.
I would like to say that
you enjoy
Deep Seeded
seeing
Geek
that
does not condone this kind of behavior in real life.
It's tearing this group apart.
Just on that note, though, you could actually, I don't know if you guys saw this, you could adjust their daily routines. So if you wanted to feed them once, you could feed them once.
Oh, really?
If you wanted them to only have, no free time, they could have no free time.
That's fair. But again, and being in all seriousness, why can't I design a prison where I force my prisoners to stand up in their cells all the time?
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean? It is cruel, and we can get into a whole silly discussion about it, but it's my prison. I should be able to design it however I want.
And that being said, for the $30 that we did pay for this game, we should take advantage of the fact that we paid to be in the beta and go and make sure we give these
good call
tips to the game company.
Yeah.
And people, this is your show, but if you're in an alpha or in a beta, fucking get part of the community. Be a part of the community. That's your job. That's why you're in beta. That's why you're in alpha. Mm-hmm. So many people play beta and they're like, cool, I was in the beta. This is awesome. Bye. Well, no. Give your opinion to the developers. They want to hear what you have to think.
Well, truth be told, I am going to be sending a link of all these videos to the developers after this is online there, so they will get our opinions for sure. And
definitely going to hear about your
perverted.
Nothing perverted about it.
She
had a toilet.
It's different.
But how impressive will it be if, come the final version of the game, you can do that? Who knows?
Definitely.
Yeah. It'd be disturbing if, at the end credits, and Cory Reggett, thank you. But we'll see. So we're gonna
thoroughly enjoy this game.
Yeah.
The Shawshank Redemption.
Nice. Good play on words.